absolutely beautiful day today. Nicest day we've had so far this year. And today is my day off. So I'm chillaxing and thought I'd pull the boat out and finish up a project that I had started last year. I'd always wanted to put a two-way radio antenna on the boat, a good one, but couldn't really find anywhere to put it. I knew I didn't want to drill into the hole, and we've got this wakeboard tower up here, so you'll notice back here on the mount for the rear view mirror, it's a really nice looking billet aluminum clamp. So I got in the machine shop and last year and decided to make this clamp, and you can see it's a pretty good match for the clamp that's already there. And we're going to see if we can find a good spot on the tower to hook this thing up, and then I'll show you guys how to run the wire and some pretty tricky little connections that you can get up at West Marine. That makes it a lot easier to terminate the ends of your antenna wire. So that's what we're going to do today, and then enjoy the sunshine. Okay, you can see I've kind of picked a I'll call it a temporary spot here on the tower, and obviously I want to make some adjustments and see exactly what the best angle is going to be. You'll notice, I'm not sure how the audio is, you'll notice I'm also spinning the antenna cable while I'm threading the antenna on. That's very important so that you don't rip the connector off on the inside. You know, as with anything like this, as you can imagine, there's always a little bit of trial and error to find the right spot. I like the lever being on the top side to make it easily accessible, but I can't roll it over quite as far as I want. It seems to be interfering with the clamp there. There's not a bad place to put it, but gravity and vibration is going to have an effect on this lever, and it's going to want to walk down and then the antenna drop. So I think the best thing for me to do will be to flip this around on the clamp. And I know technically an antenna for best reception should be pointing straight up, which we could achieve by doing that. But I think I'm going to experiment with this. Okay guys, from here you can see I kind of picked a final location for the mount. I'm going to back up here. I'll show you the antenna fits the or follows the profile of the tower pretty nicely. View from the front, it's a nice match, blends in with the tower really well. Also, the antenna follows the angle of the tower pretty well. Now I'll stand it straight up and show you what that looks like. And when we walk around the front, we are now straight up for the best reception. Now let's take it and fold it down and see how close we are to the down tube. And then that'll work nice with the either one of the antenna standoffs or just a little piece of Velcro, actually, to fold it down during transport. Okay, now for a test run from the inside. We've got pretty easy access to it. Excellent. I think I like it. Now we're going to run a wire for the radio, which I have mounted under the dash. I'll show you a picture of that here in a second. I think the cleanest way to do this would be to drill a small hole, run the wires through here, and I already have holes down at the bottom for the connection for the tower light. So I think I'll put a little slack in this, run this down the inside of the tube, and then we'll get to wiring the radio in. You can see where I've got my radio mounted. just under the helm there. And I've got pretty easy access to the wiring behind all the panels. And I'll be using the holes here in the tower, and also I'll put a quick disconnect in for the antenna wire in case I ever need to use it for folding the tower. Well guys, after thinking about it, I don't think I'm going to drill a hole just yet. It's not going to be the most attractive in the world. I'm just going to run the wire, the antenna wire, down the tube and run it through the lower tube. And I think I'm just going to zip tie it for now until I get a chance to get the boat on the water and make sure the location's good and everything. Alright, obviously I've taken the front seat out here, make it a little easier for me to work. Then I'm going to take a coat hanger. You guys have probably done this before. Take a coat hanger, straighten it out. We're going to use it as a fish tape. My fish tape, of course, I always find myself in projects like these where all of the tools I really need to do the job are at my shop. So we just work around this a little bit with a coat hanger. Piece of tape, pair of needle nose pliers, and it's pretty easy to access the lower part of the tube going into the storage compartment here. And yeah, I'm not real crazy about the zip tie thing, but again, it's temporary, and until we make sure that this works. Besides, my day off, I don't really want to go anywhere. Definitely don't want to go to an auto parts store, because again, I need a drill bit. I don't have any at the house, sad to say. Alright, so let's crawl in here and get this done. Okay, we've run our wire underneath the dash and through the tube on the wakeboard tower. And what I was going to show you is this trick little kit right here. I picked it up at West Marine. It's made by Shakespeare, but let's see if it's got a part number on it. I don't see where they list a part number, but what they call it is style PL259CP-G for RG8X and RG58 coax cable. And see if you can see that there. Alright. Comes in the kit is, of course, brass ring, your adapter pin, a cover ring, and then also comes with a little plastic adapter, which we'll be using since we're using coax cable, and a tiny O-ring. So we'll make sure we got a good pair of wire snips. It's important that this, the end of the cable, is clipped nice and clean. Yeah, we got a good connection there. Alright, it's cut off nice and square. Alright, then you want to take your cover ring. Notice it's flat on this end, threaded on this end. You want to make sure to put the flat end in first. Then you're going to slide on your O-ring. Push it back a bit. Then we'll install the coupling ring. And also on the coupling ring, make sure the threads face out or toward the end of the wire. Alright, we can push that back a bit. Alright. Then we're going to take our small nylon adapter, put it over the end of the wire. Alright, now once we've done that, we're going to take our adapter, and you want to make sure that the center pin of your adapter presses into the coax. And you'll feel it when you press in there. It should bottom out entirely. Alright. Once you've got that, take a pair of pliers and squeeze in on these fingers, and they'll pierce the outer shell of the wire. You don't have to squeeze too hard at this point, because your coupler, when you thread your outer coupler ring on there, it's going to squeeze in pretty tight on the wires and actually pierce them. Okay. And we're going to take our outer coupler, thread it on, take the O-ring and actually press it over the top of the brass piercing fingers, make a good watertight seal. And then we're going to thread on our outer coupler ring. One thing I forgot to mention, this outer coupler will actually thread up, exposing this whole assembly here. So very lightly grab this with a pair of pliers. Again, don't squeeze very hard. The idea is to hold it just enough that you can grab another pair of pliers and cinch the lock nut down all the way. Again, like I said, be very careful with this, not to gall it up. So it doesn't take very much pressure. Okay, we got both connectors on the wires there, and you can see that's just a quick disconnect that I've got in there temporarily. And of course you can see along a rail here that I've just, for the time being, I've just zip tied the line, the antenna wire, to the tube there. Alright, that pretty much wraps up the install. Like I said, I'm not real crazy about the cables zip tied to the outside of the tower, but we're going to get this thing out on the water at some point in the next 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully, and check transmission, make sure the thing's working well. If it is, then I'll go ahead and drill the hole in the tube and permanently run the wires down the tube. And of course I want to tow with it a couple of times to make sure everything's going to work like I think it does before I go ahead and stamp a permanent hole into my wakeboard tower. All that's left to do now is hit the switch, and let's see what happens.
Cooler with highs in the lower 60s. East winds around 5 miles an hour. Stay ready. Northward.
Alright, looks like we're picking up pretty good. It's kind of pointless for me to do any radio checks or anything like that on any of the marine bands, because I'm 30 miles away from any water, so I know I'm not going to pick anything up anyway. So anyway, guys, hope you go out there and have a great day, and I just need some water. Boogie, 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 boogie.